You're not going to get one of those crappy carts that you see driving around. There's a lot of crappy carts driving around Fort Myers Beach. They're old. They're ugly. These are new carts, David. They're new carts, and they're nice-looking carts.
And they're easy to operate. Even I was able to do it.
Even a monkey can do it. Not that you're a monkey, but you know what I'm saying. Even a caveman can do it. David's going to have sunburn on the top of his head. That's it. Just on the top of his head.
I think you fried Lindsay.
She can take it. She can take it. 1-844-FMB card, 844-FMB card for Island Carts FMB. They sponsor our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week commercial-free music station. And the way you get that is you go to the Apple App Store or whatever the other Android App Store is, and you download the Fort Myers, what's our show? The Beach Talk Radio News app, and just press play. And it's no commercials, all courtesy of Island Carts.
You did a good job programming
Thank you.
There's a lot of
beach music.
Well, that's a great intro into our next guest.
Welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
David Cesario. Did I say that right?
You did.
Nice and close with the mic?
Cesario,
gotcha.
Tomato.
Where are you from?
I was born in the suburbs right outside of Boston.
I see, Boston.
So I was born in Medford, Massachusetts.
All right.
And raised there. I actually grew up in Lexington.
Fan? Yeah, I know, right?
It's kind of a...
Yeah, they're terrible this year.
People from that area
are they in last place this year?
Fans. Yeah, almost.
Fall from grace.
Yeah.
It must suck for Yankee fans, for Red Sox fans to see the Yankees are wailing for, like, how many games out of the Red Sox right
How do
now?
I change the subject
Here
right
we
now?
go.
So David is the general manager of Margaritaville.
That's right.
Why do they call you the opening general manager? Because you're going to be opening it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, if the hotel was running, right, so everything would have already been established.
Okay.
I see.
So this VP and opening general manager title is, I think, just recognizing the fact that there's a lot more to do in deciding everything about the hotel, all the small things about the hotel. The project's already been decided and well underway, but all kinds of small decisions need to be made on how things are going to operate. And so I think it's a little bit more to open the hotel than to come in while it's already running.
Got it.
Before we get into the details, we have to ask you a speed round of questions because we want our audience to get to know who David is.
Sure.
And has nothing to do with anything other than questions that we come up with.
Nothing to do with your skills and abilities.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a stopwatch running that you can't hear, so they have to be fast.
There's like ticking going on. All right, dog or cat person?
I like them both.
No.
I'm sorry. If I had to choose a pet right now, it would be a cat.
All right.
Okay. I had to give you the buzzer on that for saying both, but
but I grew up in a house with both, so
nice. Favorite color?
Definitely blue.
Blue. I added that one, and you don't like that one?
No, it just was weird. Favorite TV show growing up?
Oh God, there was so many. I'd have to probably say.
Like as a kid, what was your go-to?
Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
My father used to let me stay up late and watch that, and that's where I got my sense of humor from. So he would let me stay up and watch Saturday Night Live. That was definitely my favorite show.
Favorite movie of all time?
I like these epic movies. I like Gladiator, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
is that with Arnold? Gladiator?
Dances with Wolves.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Gladiator.
Dances with Wolves?
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff.
Who was in that one?
Kevin Costner.
I see. All right. Who are the 3 most interesting people you know and why outside your family?
Outside of my family.
Clock is running.
The most interesting people I know. Wow, I just got nothing to go to here. I would
never
say
met an interesting person.
I have met interesting people. I'd have to say, I'd have to go back to Marriott. Knowing Mr. Marriott is great. He's very interesting. Spent a lot of time with him. Got to know him. I actually think that Tom Torgerson's a very interesting person. When I find out about, I know it sounds like I'm.
He's not interesting at all. Very
interesting as I've gotten to know the project and how it came to be, and the culture of the company.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's good. All right, my turn. Your most embarrassing moment.
Oh, all right. I'm just gonna. The first one that comes to mind is
Is there a host of them?
the wave runners or the flow riders. So I got stuck on the top of one where I had to make a decision whether I was going to drown or let my trunks fly off.
Another depantsing.
So I was going to drown, and the lifeguard, thank God, came over and just kicked me off the the ride, and I just slammed into the front wall. But I
have no idea what you just said, but it sounded like it was
the
in the water.
lifeguard saw me struggling, holding my swim trunks, getting water blasted up my nose.
Right.
If you won $1 million, what would you do with it?
I'd probably
up that. That's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough for me to say something nice like I would donate it, because after taxes, what if the person that won the $1.3 billion got 430? If they wanted all the money, they got $435 million.
David, you're not supposed to analyze the questions. You're supposed to just 10 million.
I would spend a lot of it on a nice boat, probably another house.
I see.
I'd set up all my kids,
Or a
and I'd
houseboat.
probably donate a good amount of it, because I
you
think
should
when you
have
have
said
enough,
donate.
you should definitely donate.
Good.
Yeah.
What? Let's see. Where are we here? Oh, Amber Heard or Johnny Depp?
Johnny.
Did OJ do it?
Why are
Yes.
I don't know. That was for the judge. I wrote those down for the judge. But
There's
you
no
wouldn't
doubt in my
answer them.
mind. Based on the evidence that I've
She
seen,
didn't answer it that way.
Is this what he does all the time to people?
Yes.
Did we get them all in there? I want to make sure we did.
I mean, we didn't.
so
So if you were to go across the country
okay, one
in an
more
RV,
question. Oh, good one. Dave.
and you can't,
Look at Lindsay
can't
working the
take-
crowd.
Yeah,
She's
I know.
working the crowd.
you can't take your wife or your significant other. Who would you take?
Oh, my brother Jimmy.
You know,
My middle brother is funny. He loves life. He's a type B personality, where I'm a type A.
he's a type what?
He's a type B.
Oh,
he's
B.
an
I thought you
artist
said
type.
E, so I was like, what
he's
does
an
that
art,
mean?
and he just loves eating and drinking
Anyone
and
with the name
laughing and having a
Jimmy,
good time.
it's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
So you come from the Marriott World Center.
My most recent role, yeah.
Well,
We-
and you've been, how long were you with the Marriott?
36 years.
Wow. Now, just to let you know,
You must have been 10 when
Dear,
you started.
I mean, how many
working.
times you're going to interrupt me? Let me get my question out. We love that hotel in Orlando. That
Mhm.
hotel was we used to go vacation when we go to Orlando and
Mhm.
stay there before we discovered the Gaylord. But we stayed there
We still alternate.
Yeah, I mean, it's that hotel was amazing. How do you manage a hotel like that?
Well, I mean, the scope of the hotel, just briefly, I had my honeymoon at that hotel almost 31 years
Wow.
ago. So when I came back to that hotel to run it, it was like a really special moment for me.
Right.
So, I mean, that was part of what kind of lured me back a little bit too, because I was happy in Miami, but I vacationed there with my family many, many times. And so it's a special place to a lot of people. It's been there for 35 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So to run it, I would say it's a completely different game than running a hotel where you know everybody's name.
Mhm.
You know something about all your employees. So you have to apply a different skill set to it. You talk about strategy and direction, and not really. I kind of enjoyed running a smaller property, but the attributes of World Center, I could see that you said Gaylord, but now the World Center rebuilt their pool. They have a water park. They have more restaurants. So it's kind of like in Orlando, like Las Vegas, it's almost like the hotel's like a nuclear arms race. They just keep, slapping warheads onto the hotel in terms of the attributes, like just building a water park there.
Right. And when we were going, the pool was nice, but then when you see new hotels being built and there's 3 pools and there's a gigantic slide, and then you got to think, oh my gosh, nobody's going to come here anymore. I got to rebuild this. And that just seems like that's what they do. They're constantly rebuilding and modernizing and making it better and better, especially in a town like Orlando, city like Orlando.
And unfortunately, that pool, after we reopened from COVID, the pool collapsed.
No way.
Your new pool?
No, it was the
it's
old pool that you knew.
Yeah.
Right? It collapsed.
How does
right?
the
There
pool
was
collapse?
a hydraulic event where there was a leak under the pool that lifted a 6 million pound pool, cracked it, and then of course the water tried to escape. So
that's a physics lesson.
got a
right
kind of a
there.
scary
Ooh.
phone call one day, and it led to that pool being closed for almost a year. So we were running a hotel in Orlando without a pool
Ooh.
for a year.
No go there, right? Was anyone injured, or was it closed?
No. It slowly started to
I
leak
see.
and started to get muddy around the pool. And
So how did you get in?
So
Go
can I
ahead.
just say
Yes,
that at
Sure,
least
show.
when we went, the elevator in the it's all glass, but that thing goes. That thing, I remember when I first got on, I was like, whoa, we are going up. That elevator, that's the best elevator.
That's like the first ride, right, for people, which I have a picture of my oldest daughter she's doing a split
Yeah.
against the glass.
Glass.
She's like 8 or 9 years old with all the
Yeah.
kids there. And yeah, we find families on there. They just come in just to ride the elevator.
Our daughter and I we're like, yeah, let's go do it again. Yeah, it's a great.
So how did you get into the hotel business? I mean,
I'll bring up my brother again. My brother went to a vocational high school for culinary arts, and then he went to the Culinary Institute of America, and he's 6 years older than me. I kind of followed in his footsteps. I went to the vocational school. I did all the trades for a year, which has really helped me in my career, like electrical, HVAC, plumbing, to know a little bit about everything. But I majored in culinary arts, did 3 years. And when I got out of high school, I certainly could have gone to culinary school. I decided to go to hotel restaurant management school, be a front of the house guy. So I went to Cape Cod Community College, proud, community college graduate here. I lived on the Cape and went to school down there. When I got out,
not that Cape,
Cape Cod,
yeah,
the real Cape.
And then my father said, "Hey," my father traveled a lot with a defense contractor, and said, "This Marriott company, they're doing a really good job. They're coming on strong. They're really consistent. They take good care of their people." And I got my first blue power suit, red tie, white shirt, went and knocked on the door of the Marriott, and the rest is history with that company.
So how did you advance through the ranks there?
I think I didn't really realize I had a big advantage at the time where I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So a lot of young people don't know what they want to do.
Right.
I did know. When you kind of combine hard work with a little bit of talent and you have opportunities, it's kind of boundless how many opportunities you have. So that company provided a lot of opportunities, but I moved a lot. I didn't just stay in one spot. I moved 10 times.
Because you had to.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to advance, you can't just wait for an opportunity to come. You got to go and you got to go after them. So I moved. Ironically, the first move was to Minnesota, which is where TPI is based.
Yeah.
So I was there when the Mall of America opened out in Minnesota, and so I kind of get their culture.
But you didn't know anyone there. It's just a coincidence.
It was 30 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And just a coincidence.
So you advanced through the ranks from where? Where do you start, and then how do you get to become a general manager?
Well, I started as an hourly associate, which is pretty typical.
What does that mean?
I started as a cook in the kitchen in an hourly role.
No kidding.
Got noticed, moved up, started to become a trainer.
Oh, wait. When you say you get noticed as a cook, does somebody come in and say, "Damn, that piece of chicken looks good"? You put a little extra effort into that.
That's how you have to be, right?
Wow.
If you're gonna anything worth doing is worth doing right. So yeah, whether it was cleaning the floor or grinding the fresh hamburger or doing chop work in the kitchen. But I slowly moved up and got to a position where I got noticed. I like to learn. I like to teach other people. So that got noticed pretty quickly too. But I moved from Minnesota to Texas to Missouri, where I worked in Kansas City and St. Louis, then to Detroit, back to Boston, down to Florida, where I was in Miami, Orlando, and now here, which is like the final destination for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So then how did you come to this position here? Like how did that, after that long history, how did that happen?
I'm a planner. So we had already looked about a year and a half ago on where we were going to settle. We decided that we wanted to settle in this area. So we looked all around for a place to purchase. Wasn't the best time. Prices were high. We couldn't find exactly what we want because I have 4 kids and the family's going to grow. We just had our first granddaughter.
I saw that on your
She's going to be 10
Facebook.
months old. So we found a house in Naples. We had it built. So it's going to be ready. In fact, we close on August 23rd.
So this is when you're still running in Orlando. You have a house in Naples.
And I communicated that I was going to be retiring from Marriott at the end of the year. This opportunity, as you well know, is a very special project.
Sure.
You don't see a lot of projects like this around. So I started to get a little bit interested in that.
At what point of the painful process that TPI was going through here did you know to call and get involved? I mean, was it recently or was it way earlier watching what's going on?
It was more recently.
Okay.
I would say, it was, this year.
Okay.
And we had heard about the project because the project got a lot of press. But as I started to learn more about the project, even just recently, like last week, as I find out more about the attributes of the property, and I find out more about TPI, the company, and I find out more about the Margaritaville brand, and it's because it's a really hot brand. I smirk because I made such a good decision.
Yeah. When you
to
say
get involved.
attributes of the property and you're thinking about those, what do you mean?
Yeah, what are some of the attributes and amenities people are going to be?
Well,
excited
that
to
drew you in first, that you saw the attributes of this property.
Well, for example, so
It
you have a
wouldn't be
254 room
gross.
hotel,
Yeah.
and they claim that they have 5 restaurants, which is modest, right? Because they have more food and beverage. We when we do in the convention hotel business, we try to brag about what we have. So I'm going to stretch a little bit here and say, well, yeah, they have 5 restaurants, but they also have they have room service. They have a full catering facility. They have the coffee shop. They have the salty rim. So I count like 8 options to eat in the resort.
Right.
Plus, you have a full retail shop that you can get snacks and beverages in too. So it's a little bit of a stretch. You don't see, first of all, the parking ratio is, he's getting distracted by the birds
The
here.
birds,
I know.
sometimes there's certain times a year where they're killers. But
Yeah, they
I
come
don't
from the
mean to-
northeast to annoy everybody down here. So basically the parking situation, right? So they have a covered parking area in the resort, about 350 spots, and then we have 25 across the street. But think about this, how much air you need to have that much parking. Well, it's covered, and covering that creates the Sunset Terrace, which is a 43,000 square foot terrace facing the most beautiful sunset you could ever see, right?
yeah.
Wow.
There's a
I saw it last
250
night.
seat
Yeah.
license to chill bar up there.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, the landscape designer did an amazing job. There's fire pits and soft seating and lawn games. And so at the end of the day, all the family's going to be up there taking pictures, creating memories up there. Not only that, but we can do an art festival up there. We could do Oktoberfest. We could do events in the community because it can hold 1,200 people.
Yeah.
So how many 254 rooms hotels have a 43,000 square foot terrace?
Yeah.
Have that many food outlets, have a concert 7 days a week at a beach club, one of its kind down here, that has a stage, has cabanas and seating
When you
in the pool.
saw the pool, when you got
Cool.
the tour of where the pool's going to be compared to where the beach is, what did you think of that?
I was kind of blown away because, like as I learn more about the project, right? Classic, pool has just chase lounges all around it, right? There's an element to this that faces the beach. It's on the sand. So you're in the club, the Fins Up Beach Club, but you can be on the sand. You could be in the water. You could be in a chase lounge. You could be in a cabana, but you could also be eating right in there. So it's very unusual.
And this town lifted Tom Torgerson up by his ankles and shook him up and down as much as they could to get as much shit out of him as he was willing to give. And he stuck with the project, and it's coming along great. It's 1 year away, and it's going to be fabulous for the beach. But have you ever, in your years working in the hotel business, have you ever seen somebody that would put up with that kind of stuff in a community and not say, this is really crazy, I can do this somewhere else, or I can build this somewhere else? I mean, there was a lot. I'm sure you've seen the history or read the history. I've heard the stories.
This is, and it sounded like, you asked me the interesting people, but it's very interesting. Who wouldn't be interested in the story? It's an authentic story about somebody overcoming a lot of challenges that had a vision, right? And it is now trusting me and the team to deliver that. That's like no pressure. And when he, as I've learned more, and he's shared with me more over the last few weeks,
Sure.
As we've gotten to know each other a little bit better, just to let me understand what it took to get us to this point, which I'm kind of idealistic. So I'm fired up.
Yeah.
And ready to go. And so the story of how it got here, I wasn't here.
Right.
My job is to open the place, hire all the people, and deliver on what they want, what the Margaritaville brand wants, and I think what the community wants.
What do you think of the brand that Jimmy Buffett has built from 13 popular songs? Really, I mean, we've gone to many concerts, and we go listen to the same exact songs, sung the same way with the same people, and we totally love it, or I do. She just comes along for the ride. But it's more than just a hotel. It's all,
You want some room to take a
I
swing at him,
I
or
know,
it's
I
all
know.
folks homes. It's retirement communities. It's food.
Which you're gonna
it's-
find yourself in one in real soon.
No, but seriously, it's crazy. And his songs are never played on the radio. One is.
I promised the COO Robert that I wouldn't go off on a tangent. Robert, I'm sorry. He asked me the question, but there's a lot of talk about lifestyle hotels, right? And a lot of people try to create lifestyle hotels, or they want to name them a lifestyle hotel. But to me, the only real organic lifestyle hotel is Margaritaville. It was a brand that was stumbled upon. It was a restaurant company, kind of like TPI was. And they became a retail company and didn't realize the commercial appeal. And now they have hotels and RV parks and a cruise line. So to me, it's a real lifestyle hotel. It became a lifestyle hotel. It wasn't, contrived. It's authentic. So there's a big difference to me. And so to answer that question, it's just kind of an amazing story how Margaritaville came to be. Working with their team has been great because they realize what a great brand they have, and they're going to start to grow. And, what they do becomes more important because people kind of have expectations of the brand. So I think there's a balance between becoming a commodity, and they want people to have fun and relax and escape. And they want the people that work there to treat the customers like that too.
What are the challenges for coming into a position, like you said, where you're the opening? There's not an existing kind of thing to step into. So what are some of the challenges, and what are going to be your day-to-day roles and responsibilities going forward?
It's a great question. So,
boom!
Sorry,
question.
Forgot
from
the bell.
him.
You get a ding, ding, ding.
I
ding, ding.
do.
Look at you. You know the show. He knows the bell.
I have to kind of figure out the company, TPI, their core values, their culture, right? Because they own the hotel. I need to navigate through Margaritaville and figure out the brand. So I onboarded with TPI. They did a great job. On board to the Margaritaville brand, where they sent me out to look at other properties, talk to other leaders,
I bet that
and
was a
then
rough
learn about
trip.
this area. So I've got to combine all three, right? Because there is all of the properties have an indigenous impact on where they are. So Fort Myers Beach is, coveted by the people that live here.
Yeah.
And, they want to keep that. So it's a balance, right? So it's a balanced scorecard, if you will, where not one thing is more important than another. Obviously, it's a business. It's there to make money as well.
Have you ever been involved in a hotel where it's open to the community? It's open to he's opening it up to the community so that people that live here can also be part of the pool, and they're going to get discounts. And I mean, is that a normal thing?
I haven't to this extent. No,
okay,
I haven't. So, most hotels, their spas and their restaurants are open. The pool aspect of it, we have to make sure that there's a balance with, I'll use that term a lot, where the guests that are staying in the hotel have access to the pool.
Priority.
But the community does too.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be concerts going on inside. There's going to be very popular. So, to this aspect, no, but, TPI has made a commitment that it's going to be open to the public, and it's going to add a lot. So people can walk onto the Sunset Terrace. They can access the retail shops, the restaurants. They can walk through the resort. We do have to control, I guess is a good term. We want to have the people that are supposed to be inside there, there.
Well, there's safety and security.
And then security is going to be a big element because people want to be safe. Because they can't relax unless they feel safe.
This hotel, unlike a lot, I mean, I would assume it's embedded right in this community.
Right.
It's not like a big downtown area either. I mean, this is a smaller island kind of thing, and it's a big hotel with a big brand. So it is a unique, I would imagine, situation in that regard.
You get another bell because that's a great point. I've never seen. He's just feeling.
I know. He's jealous.
I'm sorry.
He's jealous.
I've never seen a resort cut into
Mm-hmm.
its surroundings
Mhm.
like this.
Yeah.
Where, it is right in the heart.
Yeah,
of-
woven right into the fabric of the
It
community.
is in the pedestrian bridge that's going to be going up
Mhm.
soon, and but I feel like the parking issue. We have plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Not only
That's
that,
the
but we
biggest
have
question.
We have
Yeah.
100 spots off property.
Right off the island.
So, being 20 miles from the airport, and I think if people know about Fort Myers Beach and they happen to rent a car, they're going to find out.
Yeah.
It's like
Might
renting a
take
car
a-
in Miami. Like, why did I rent a car
Yeah.
here?
Might take a little learning curve, but after that, they'll Uber down and they'll just be able to walk around.
And we're going to have the beach carts, the golf carts.
Yeah.
That'll be a part.
Have you announced who the company is yet, or?
I think you know who it is.
Yeah, I think we know who it is. Yeah, we love those guys.
You know people around here,
Yeah.
but that's going to be nice. So if people do want to get around a little bit easier
Yeah.
than having a car.
So
have that option.
The number of employees you'll be hiring is how many? And we do get that question a lot. How do I apply for a job and where do I go? Now we had a name before, but should they call you now, or how does that whole process work?
Well, there is a process. So we created kind of a chart that showed when we're going to hire what they call the steering committee of the hotel or the executive committee of the hotel. So the first job is posted, and we did interviews Friday, and then we have some on Monday for director of sales and marketing, right? So that job we hope to have in place in September, which will be the face of the hotel, the community, get all the sales engines revving.
Nice.
Right? The next position that we hope to have hired before the end of the year is the director of engineering. The projects at a state where everything's being built, all the infrastructure is going in, and it's a time to have the director of engineering that's going to run that building come in so they can observe and know exactly how things were built. Then when we move into next year, first of all, the director of sales and marketing will start to hire the sales team this year. But once that division leader is hired, they'll start to build their teams. So that exec team, reports into me, but then they start to build their own teams.
Mm-hmm.
And the next positions that would come up would be director of human resources, which would probably be early next year. That's where we're going to start to, hire not only the rest of the leadership team, but the department heads. And then ultimately we're going to start posting our hourly positions.
So how many total employees?
A lot for 250-room hotel, and because there's so much food and beverage. So I would guess between 250 and 300 people would be working in the hotel.
And how many do you think will come from the local area, and how many will be specific to a job that they're going to have to come from outside the area?
I think a lot will come from the local community, because if you're a bartender or a server or a banquet server, I mean, you probably want to work where the highest sales volume is going on, right? So if you're just somebody that wants to make money, it's going to be a place to make a lot of great money. If you're somebody that wants more of a balance, if you want good benefits, to work for a good company that has good pay and other things like our parking, which leads into the other thing that you said, which is I think we'll attract people from around the area because you can drive and we have parking for you. So we have 100 parking spots. So you can count on the fact that you have a spot, and we're going to shuttle people back and forwards to work, which I feel is a big value proposition statement the company's making to say, all right, you don't have to park there,
right?
But you have a parking spot, and we'll shuttle you over to work. You don't have to ride your bike or walk or, that kind of stuff. But a lot of people, I think, will ride, share, they'll carpool, and they'll use our parking as well.
Yeah. So there has been a hiring problem down here for bars and restaurants. I mean, how are you going to overcome that?
Well, the employment situation is getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, it's slowly getting better. And I think that the value proposition, one of the goals is to be one of the best, if not the best employer in the area. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you gotta have good culture. You got to treat people really well. You have to pay them well. You have to give them great benefits, right? All of those things. But some of the things like food, feeding the people, giving them transportation and a place to park, I think, we might rise to the top as a great employer. So it's the United States, it's capitalism, and it's one of those things where we might be somewhere that people think about working because we just have so much to offer.
You got spies
Well-
down at the Hyatt and Coconut Point and Naples, high pay. You know, where you have to pay a lot of money, just checking out the employees to see, hey, that might be somebody we
They're
want.
headhunting.
Yeah.
Speaking for myself, I have not done that. I have not. In fact, in the next month, I'm going to go and visit. Hotels always work together. We learn in the hotel business that you've got to, the guy down the street's got to be your friend because they might need you. You might need them.
Yeah.
The power could go out at the Hyatt and they would say, David, we have a wedding,
Right,
and we just move mountains to take care of that customer. So any experienced hotelier knows, right?
It's a collaborative
You
thing.
need to have a good relationship with everybody around you.
You know, the question came up last night at our forum. Someone said to the people that were there, what can they do to attract young professionals to the area? And I think maybe you just answered some of that, because it sounds like there'll be lots of opportunities for up and coming professionals and to get them to the beach and work at the hotel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't have a count off the top of my head, but I'm going to guess there's probably 30 to 35 management positions
Wow.
of all different disciplines.
Wow.
So you've got operations, food and beverage, engineering, accounting and finance, sales and marketing. So there's a lot to learn there for the aspiring hotel executive.
Well, and I think what's so great and so unique is your story, starting from, being a cook and working the way up. That's a great.
What kind of benefits does the company
possible-
offer?
Yeah.
Well, they
for-
have, first of all, they have full health benefits,
Wow.
dental benefits, 401k plan, vision plan. There's a whole other menu of little things that they have that you can sign up for.
Yeah.
But those are the big hitters. And then you have, if you're working in the building, right, recognition, great communication. The fun thing about this brand is it's a fun brand.
Yeah.
The thing that I took away from visiting all the other properties is their relationship with the customer.
So let me ask you about that.
It's not stuffy.
I have to ask you a question about that, because the first time this happened to us, I was in total shock. You go to so many hotels when you go on vacation over time, and then I think it might have been the Gaylord that we went to, and then there was hi, Mrs. or Mrs. Ryan. It's nice to see you back again. You start looking around, wait a second, there's thousands and thousands of people here. How do you develop that relationship? I mean, with customers because then you've got them. I mean, you're doing different things. It's not just you're going to a hotel and you got the crabby guy walking around the pool asking for your beer order or something like that. You feel like, these people are happy to be there and they know who you are.
They want to be
know who you are, but
recognition.
The number one thing is somebody's name, knowing their name. That's the most important thing.
Dale
to people.
Carnegie, that's the
Yeah.
So Marriott manages Gaylord, and we bought Starwood, right? Or they bought Starwood. They, when they combined all the platforms, so to allow the ability for a frontline associate to recognize you, so that person should get recognized for doing their job, because it's right in front of them that you've stayed there before. So they just need to go, I like my job, I love people, and I know how important it is to recognize this person. So that Bonvoy experience. Margaritaville has their perks program that they just rolled out. So I think they've got about 80,000 to 100,000 members. It's not obviously 5,000 properties like a Marriott brand is, but it is designed to recognize people, most importantly. And then to give them instant perks, like some of the points programs you have to earn over a long period of time to redeem. Their perks program is kind of cool, where you get stuff right on the spot. So if they welcome you, Mr. Ryan, it's great to have you back at Margaritaville.
Somebody notices that somehow?
Yes. And they say, and because you've stayed with us before, we're going to give you a food and beverage credit.
I see.
Here's $50 to spend as you wish in our outlets. So it's instant, which I think people like.
Yeah.
So you might get a room upgrade or
Yeah.
food and
That was
beverage
it.
credit.
That's what it was. That's what it was, for no reason.
Yes. So people that, come to the brand. So that's a new I think the perks program has been in place for a year.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's a little bit more than that, I apologize. I've learned so much in the last 60 days. It's hard to remember everything. But so I think it's cool in the fact that it recognizes the customer and gives them something right in the spot.
Awesome.
What do you want the community to know about David?
Well, I want to thank everybody for the warm welcome, first of all, because it's been very nice to meet people in the community. Jackie's been great.
Yep. Always.
I want them to know that, TPI, the company, it's a great company. It's 50 years old. Like, they're the real deal in terms of building themselves up, really taking care of their people. I don't know what happened before this became a Margaritaville, but I can't imagine it being anything else.
Sure.
I just feel like it's the perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Margaritaville, the brand team, keeps saying, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And it's like, yeah, it's a big deal to us too. But because they know it's the exact spot that it's like this could be the epitome of what Margaritaville is as a brand, the way it's carved into the community. So I want them to know that I'm approachable. I have a good sense of humor. I'm very excited to be here. I've got a lot going on, but I'm going to get out and introduce myself to people. I'm going to some meetings next week to introduce myself to people. And I am thrilled.
You think open day you'll pull a 24-hour shift?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that I wanted to, I know that I'll have to rent, and I'm looking at maybe my next landlord. I think before the hotel opens, I'm going to have to get a place down here, because usually 120 days before the hotel opens, you're working 16 hours.
Is it that far out? Like how that it's that far out that the demand
getting
is that
everything
high.
In the hotel and done is hopefully going to be a very smooth process, but it takes a lot of hard work.
Now, who gets to pick all the decorations, or is that already
pre-planned?
Thank you. The brand.
Okay.
Definitely, that
kind of dictates.
Architecture and design is made to make you feel a certain way when you walk into a space, right?
Yeah.
Some people nail it.
Yeah.
Some people don't. Margaritaville has their signature things like the blown out flip flop in the lobby and things like that, but it definitely gives you a island feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they call it a brand for a reason, right?
Yeah.
It's consistent all across.
There's a scent, there's music, there's lighting, and there's decor that make you feel that way when you get there.
So do you have an opening day planned? Is there an opening day? I know it's a year plus out, but is there an actual day?
I think September
Soft
5th
target?
is you have to pick a day, right? So September 5th, which would be right after the holiday. It's a soft time of the year.
Because it's off season.
A little bit off season, and allow us to get, knock the cobwebs out. We have 5 restaurants to open. So the main thing is if
you need any taste testers,
yes,
we're available.
I have a feeling you might be there, but opening up 5 restaurants at the same time, any restaurateur would say you're crazy.
Right.
You want to probably open up the ones at the main resort first.
Mm-hmm.
Room service, a 3 meal a day restaurant, the license to chill terrace restaurant, like the basic stuff, right? So if you stay in a hotel, you've got a good selection. And then we'll try to open up JWB Grill, La Di Da Bar, 5 o'clock somewhere. Obviously, we better make sure the blenders are working.
Yeah. What do you think that first day is going to be like for this community? And what do you like? What's your vision of that opening day?
Oh, that just a proud moment.
Seamless execution.
Yeah, I didn't ask you the question.
There's some people on our team, including myself, that have a lot of opening experience. So you have to. We did our first critical path call. Like now, it's game on with the brand. So everything's going to be tracked, very prescriptive on what needs to get done on time. So that's where my leadership skills will come out. I need to make sure everybody stays on point. If everything's done, it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you can't just open the doors and act like it's a regular day. I mean, it's got to be like it's got to be bands playing and fist flying.
There's going to be. So I picture an opening with a lot of fanfare, live music, everybody just having a great time.
Marcino's helicopter flying overhead and all kinds of crazy
fleets of golf carts driving down the street.
Would you say surprise visit from anybody?
He will not commit to that.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. That's not his deal.
No,
He'll show up when he shows up. If he shows up. and he may
Jimmy
not.
would love you to be
Yeah.
at our grand opening.
We've been at concerts where he drives through the parking lot, you know, and
Right.
and just sticks his head out the window. It's like you just never know. And sometimes he'll just show up at places to warm up for the next day. I mean, that'd be kind of neat though. But you couldn't tell anybody anyway. It'd be crazy. It'd be
Right.
it wouldn't be a mob scene. So I mean, you
I'm
could tell
very
a few
hopeful.
people.
Hope is not a strategy, but it's
Right,
I'm very hopeful that that he would show up.
Well, Dave, did we miss anything
Ah.
about the opening? I mean, obviously, we'd like to have you on a couple of times before, and we
Give us
look
some
I'd
forward
love
to
to
updates.
give you some
Yeah.
updates as
we
things
look
progress.
forward to the bridge coming in soon. I mean,
The
that's
walkover,
in the
yeah.
next
The
couple
bridge
of
to
weeks.
paradise.
Yeah,
There you
yeah, yeah. And
What do
the
you think?
terrace,
I do, I like
you got a name for the terrace.
Sunset Terrace.
Yeah. Well, that was hard, right? I mean, come on, that was an easy
It's-
no-brainer. I mean, did you guys sit around a table and?
I threw it out there. They were like, "That's a good name." But it's going to be when all the families are going to come out and take pictures at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like
yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
ride that wave and maybe do something that's special for them while they're doing
It's
that.
so weird that you say that because I don't usually come out at night for whatever reason. But we were here last night
Because you're asleep. That's
doing
the reason.
doing the forum, and as I was loading up my vehicle, I looked over
Right.
at the pier, and it was
Yeah.
there were body to body just taking
It was a
pictures of this. I
beautiful
was
We
like,
take a
wow.
picture of my family. We
Yep.
take a picture of my
I
family.
need to
That's what-
take pictures of the people taking pictures. It was like that, but up there, it's going to be like crazy.
That's why the
because it's
West Coast
perfect.
is the best coast because you at the
Yeah.
end of
Yeah.
every day you have a beautiful
Yeah.
sunset.
Yeah.
And you have that photo op, right,
Yeah.
to remember your vacation and all the memories you created.
Well, David, thanks so much for coming on.
Yes,
we
pleasure.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much
Good
for
luck
having
with
me.
everything,
Yes,
and thank
we
you.
look forward to seeing you again as this progresses.
Big hand for David, everybody. Our new general manager.